I know I've said this before, but occasionally I cover a couple of movies for absolutely no other reason than I wanted to watch them. And I had this hankering to watch the old movie The Arrival, and I had never seen the sequel. So I figured it would be a good idea to mark it off my list right here in Mini Timeline Month. So this one's for me, and for you. So enjoy The Arrival timeline. We start back in 1996 with The Arrival, which gives us the actor who played the character of Charlie Sheen in Scary Movie 5, with that haircut that everyone had in the mid-90s, including me, and he works at SETI, which I don't know if you know stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Illicit Substances. Toby's here, and they actually intercept a signal coming from space, and Zane's car has a registration sticker for 92 on it. So that may be our year. And they go to visit Ron freaking Silver, who promptly fires them, and then destroys their evidence. Temperatures worldwide seem to be increasing, and Zane's girlfriend is a Fokker. And can I just mention that the character's name is Zane Zeminski. Like somebody wrote that down and they were like, that's something that someone would name their kid. Zane gets blacklisted and he gets dumped, so he decides to set up his own satellite. And whose decision was it to give him these glasses? He gets help from the kid next door, Kiki, and the signal repeats, but it seems like it's coming from Earth instead. And then his partner is killed, and he traces the source of the transmission to Mexico, where he's almost killed by a guy who bends his knees backwards and jumps up in the pinnacle of 90s effects. He teams up with a climatologist, and they realize that the Earth is being terraformed, but she's then killed off by scorpions. Yeah, they went with scorpions. Zane then discovers where the signal's based, and yep, it's aliens. And I should mention that this is written and directed by David Twohy, who would shortly go on afterwards to do all the Riddick movies. And, well, Zane then steps onto the alien's skin machine and transforms into this monstrosity. It's like Burt Reynolds made of Play-Doh. And then, come on, you want to see peak 90s? Check out Charlie here. Like, this movie had a costume designer, and that person said he needs to be in this outfit. Char comes back, and it seems like she may actually be on the side of the aliens, and they try to activate the satellite, but Kiki is revealed to be one of them instead. They discover that, much like the Blob, the creatures don't like the cold too much, but like, who does, right? And one of their weapons gets unleashed, which is the deadliest ball outside of a Coscarelli film, and it's basically like a mini black hole, but Zane and Char survive. And then Kiki bends back his legs and runs off in one of the most unintentionally hilarious things I've seen in a while. Zane then spreads the word of what's going on, and they actually go out of their way to hide dates in this one, so the only visible hint is the stickers on the plates, and based on the clothes and the tech on hand, it's clearly mid-90s, so let's just go with real-time 96 for the time being. Meanwhile, the film cost $25 million to make and only brought in $14 million at the box office and was considered a bomb. But it did do better on the international market, so I guess they figured a sequel could work. That happened just 2 years later in 1998 as The Arrival 2 went straight to video. This one has Xander before a bug sucked his brains out, and the news tells us that Zane's broadcast was 2 months ago, and it was called a hoax, and he's also now dead. And then Carol is here, and she has a calendar up that at least tells us that it's July. But that's all I can see on that one. So the ending of the first movie then took place in May. But then there's this newspaper that says that it's Thursday, June 5th. And that's how the dates fell in 1997. So maybe her calendar is just off, and this is right. And the first film was actually April, and then they're both in 97. But then To be more confusing, this news report says that there's still no snow, even though it's the second week of March. So in the first 8 minutes of this movie, it's been July, June, and now March. We're like reverse time traveling. This is in Canada, and Jack is revealed to be Zane's brother, and they haven't spoken in 7 years. And when he receives a packet in the mail from Zeminski, and wait, Jack's last name is Addison, so either someone changed their name or they're half-brothers, or it makes sense that Zane Zeminski is just like a fake name that he made up. But we see a projected 10-year increase in global warming that ends in 2007, which again indicates that this is set in 97, so that's when both films take place. Zane sent that packet out to a group, and one is revealed to be an alien, and the ball is back, and they end up on the run with an alien artifact leading them to Mexico. And since Tui didn't come back for this one, it was instead headed up by Night of the Demons, Kevin S. Tenney. But when Bridget shows her press pass, it shows an expiration of 1998 to 99. So I guess that's when it's valid from. So does that make this 98? There's just so much contradictory here. Like then there's this presentation that shows the difference in the climate between 87 and 1997 and 2007, and has a line at the ending of 97 saying observed, which again might indicate 97 unless they're using year-end data, and this is in 1998 using that information for the previous year, which is probably the best guess, which means that both films are in 98, with this being in March and the first being in January. They end up in an alien ship in some of the silliest green screen sets that I've seen in a while, except maybe this one, and activate one of the black hole balls in a last-ditch effort to stop the aliens. But they get the idea to throw a smaller ball into the bigger one to cancel it out. And it works. And you know, both IMDb and Wikipedia cite this film as taking place 2 years after the first one, which is weird because they make it clear that it's not that long after that, and specifically state 2 months in the beginning. Bridget writes a book that they said came out 2 months ago, and the power plant thing was last winter, so it's a year later, and the temperature is cooling, so it seems like the aliens are either stopped or delayed. And that was it. The series stopped there. So there you have it, 2 movies that just, they do have a timeline with each other. Basically, one happens and then the other one's 2 months later. But yeah, the second movie has absolutely no clue when it's supposed to be set or what month it is. It's pretty bizarre. The first movie hid the dates very, very well, so it could be whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed these. The first movie's a lot of fun. The second one's kind of just a typical straight-to-video sci-fi action flick, nothing too special, but it certainly is enjoyable for what it is. Not a bad film. Charlie Sheen really makes the first one kind of fun with his just craziness, like how crazy he looks throughout the entire thing. It's pretty funny. If you've seen these or haven't seen these, let me know down below in the comments if you like them or hate them. Let me know that as well. I want to know. Leave that comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that. And also check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/movietimelines. You can go there and help support the channel like these guys do. You can also just keep on coming back and watching these videos. I always appreciate that. Thank you very much for doing so, and I will see you very shortly for another great video. Thanks a lot, guys, and bye-bye.